Now the next topic is organizational structure. Organizational structure is simply the hierarchy of the organization. Means the hierarchy which every organization follows is the organizational structure of that organization. An organizational structure defines how job titles, roles, and responsibilities are assigned within a company. It helps to determine who reports to whom, means who will be reporting to whom, and who makes decisions about what. Startups often have a matrix organizational structures with different departments working together on projects. There are different types of organizational structures. Different business enterprise have different organizational structure depending upon their characteristics. Basically, organizational structures are of two types, and every organization will be following any of them as per their characteristics. Means the two types of organizational structures are functional structure and divisional structures. Now, which structure organization has to follow will depend upon the characteristic of the organization. However, whatever formal structure a firm chooses, there is a parallel structure that runs along with any formal structure that is called as informal organizational structure. Informal is basically the groups that are being formed in the organization. Means sometimes it happens that a friendship occurs out of the colleagues. Out of friendship, there are certain groups that are being formed, which are called informal groups. So the types of organizational structure. First is functional structure. Under the functional structure, the division is done on the basis of different departments. Means, and generally the functional structure is followed when the size of the organization is not large. Means under the smaller organizations only, functional structure is followed. Here, grouping of jobs of similar nature under functional and organizing these major functions as separate departments create a functional structure. Means here the division will be done on the basis of the grouping of the activities. Means departments would be there, and the name of departments could be, it could be HR department, it could be marketing department, it could be R&D department, or it could be purchasing departments. And under these departments, the grouping of activities of similar nature would be done. Means things related to HR, means things related to manpower will go under the HR department. Things related to demand of the product, things related to publicity of the product, advertising of the product will go under the marketing department, and so on. All departments report to a coordinating head. For example, in a manufacturing concern, division of work into key functions will include production, purchase, marketing, accounts, and personnel. These departments might be further divided into sections. Means there would always be a managing director to whom every department would be reporting, and under that managing director there would be different departments on the basis of the nature of the activities. Second we have is divisional structure. Now divisional structure is generally followed when the size of the organization is large. Means the division of the departments will be done on the basis of the products and not the functions of the product. Here, suppose if a firm produces or if a firm manufactures more than one product, it could be cosmetics, garments, footwear, or skincare. Now the main division that would be done, it would be on the basis of the product. Means under the cosmetics or under the garments, under the footwear, or under the skincare, all the different functions will be performed. But the major departmentalization would be done on the basis of that product. The 4 departments or the 2 departments or the 3 departments, whatever the firm is manufacturing, it would be done on the basis of those particular products. The structure of the divisional organization would be, see, there would be one managing director under whom there would be certain departments. The department would be formed on the basis of the product that the organization is manufacturing. There would be cosmetics department. And here in this figure we can see there would be cosmetics department, there would be garments department, there would be footwear, there would be skincare. Means 4 departments are there. Means the company or the organization is producing these 4 products, and under every department there would be certain functions which the organization would be performing. Means under cosmetics or under garments, same functions would be performed. For example, there would be HR function, there would be marketing, there would be R&D, or we can say research and development, or there would be purchasing. All the four departments will be following these functions. Now, the next topic is types of organization. There are two types of organization: formal organization and informal organization. Formal organization means the organization or the employees here follows the rules and regulations which are set up by the organization. There would be a hierarchy, there would be a scalar chain which every employee would be following. Formal organization refers to a structure of well-defined roles, each bearing a measure of authority and responsibility. Means every employee would be carrying some responsibility or some authority, and they will be working towards the attainment of the organizational goals. There would be separate departments, but they would synchronize in a way that the organizational goals are easily achieved. It is a conscious determination by which people accomplish goals by adhering to the norms laid down by the structure. Means there would be certain rules and regulations, or there would be certain procedures which every employee has to follow, and which is being laid down by the organization. This kind of organization is an arbitrary setup in which each person is responsible for his performance. Formal organization has a formal setup to achieve the predetermined goals. Means every employee is working towards the attainment of the predetermined goals. Next is informal organization. Informal organization is basically the friendship or the groups that occurs naturally in the formal organization. Means people interacting with each other or meeting after their office gives rise to the informal organization. Interaction among people at works give rise to network of social relationships among employees called the informal organization. We know that human being is a social animal, and so we need someone to talk to share our things, to share our burden, right? The best example of informal organization would be employees meeting on Sundays for cricket match, or employees meeting after office at the cafeteria. This is the best example of informal organizations. And this is being not formed by the organization, this occurs naturally. Informal organization emerged from within the formal organization, means it is a part of formal organization only when people interact beyond their official defined roles. When people have frequent contacts, they cannot be forced to be in a rigid formal structure. Rather, based on their interaction and friendship, they tend to form formal groups which show conformity in the interest. Now comes the advantages of formal organization. The first is systematic working. See, under formal organization, only systematic working would be there. Means all the employees would be working, would be synchronizing with each other so that they can smoothly achieve the organizational goals. Next is achievement of organizational objectives. Formal organizational structures established to achieve the organizational objective. Means there are already pre-described roles, there are already pre-described objectives for which the every employee is working. Next is no overlapping of work. Here the work is already been divided among the employees so that there is no duplication of work or there is no wastage of resources. Means it should not happen that single work is allotted to more than one person. Because of this only, the division of work is already done, and the division is done on the basis of the specialization of each employee. The one who is good in HR would go in HR department, and the one who is good in finance would be going under the finance department, which would obviously lead to the better efficiency in the organization and the better attainment of the organizational goals. Now comes the coordination. Following the activities of or the formation of the activities, or we can say, or the division of the work would lead towards the attainment or towards the coordination among the different departments. Now the next point is coordination. Coordination means there would be a better coordination among different departments of the organization. Means the employees are assigned their duties on the basis of their specialization, which would obviously lead to the coordination among the employees and coordination among the different departments. The next point is creation of chain of command. See, under the formal organization structure clearly defines superior subordinate relationship. Means there is clarity about who has to report to who is superior and who is subordinate to that superior. Which means that when everyone knows to whom they are answerable, to whom they have to report, and so there is a chain of command which the employees are following, which would always lead to the better efficiency in the organization. The last point is more emphasis in is on the work. Under the formal organization, the only and only emphasis is on the work rather than the interpersonal relationships, and so the organizational goals can be achieved very smoothly and quickly with better efficiency. The next topic is disadvantages of formal organization. The first point is delay in actions. Obviously, there would be a delay in actions following the scalar chain or following the hierarchy. Means the one sitting at the lower level will be allowed to first communicate with the middle level manager and then only to the top level manager. And there might be a case where certain quick actions are needed to be taken. But following the scalar chain, it would obviously lead to the delay in the decision making. Now, the next point is ignores the social needs of the employees. As we know, human being is a social animal, and so we have our psychological needs, we have our social needs, and we need to satisfy that. But formal organizations ignores our social need, which leads to the demotivation among the employees, and they will not feel good or they will not feel motivated to work towards the organizational goal. The last point is emphasize on work only. Formal organization always ignores human relations, it ignores creativity, it ignores the talent of the employees. Means if I'm sitting at the lower level and I might have some good ideas, I may have some creative ideas which would lead to the better efficiency of the employees or which would finish the work in less time. But following the hierarchy, I have no rights or I am not allowed to communicate to the middle level manager or to the top level manager. I have my manager to whom I am answerable or to whom I have to report. In this case, this might lead to the ignorance of the creativity of the employees. So the next topic is advantages of informal organization. First is fast communication. Obviously, there would be a fast communication under the informal organization where employees are having cordial relation with their superiors. The one sitting at the lower level can communicate directly to the one who is sitting at the top level, which means that information would be sent very quickly and the fast actions could be taken. There might be a case where immediate action is needed to be taken, and following the informal sort of organization, immediate action can be easily implemented. Next is fulfills social needs. Informal organizations gives due importance to physiological and social needs of the employees, which motivates the employees. Means human being is a social animal, and so we need someone to talk to, and following the informal organizational structure we can easily communicate with our colleagues, and which will obviously satisfy our social needs. The last point is correct feedback. Sometimes it may happen that the real feedback of the lower level is not sent to the top level because of the one sitting at the middle level. But if the top level managers communicate directly to the lower level employees or lower level subordinates, the real feedback could be taken, and if certain actions are needed to be taken, they can be executed. Now comes the disadvantages of informal organization. First point is spreads humor. Obviously, when employees will interact with each other, there would be 70% of the information which are only the rumors. According to a survey, 70% of the information spread through informal organization structures are rumors which may mislead the employees, which will also ruin their time, which will also ruin the organizational objective. They will not work toward the attainment of the organizational goal, but instead they will indulge into the rumors and will not work. Next is no systematic working. Informal organization structure does not form a structure for smooth working of an organization. Means there is no systematic working. They are more convenient in talking about unnecessary things which might not be good for the organization. Next is may bring negative results. Obviously, the informal organization will bring negative results because employees would be more interested in unnecessary things rather than the organizational objectives. If informal organization opposes the policies and changes of the management, then it becomes very difficult to implement them in the organization. Means if the formal structure is there, they would be adhering to the rules and regulations or the policies. But if they are following the informal organization, sometimes they might oppose the rules or regulations of the organization, and which might lead to the which could be very difficult for the organization to implement certain changes which they might need to implement. The last point is more emphasize to individual interest. Under the informal structure, it gives more emphasis or more importance to the satisfaction of individual interest rather than the accomplishment of the organizational goals. Means more emphasizes on the individual goals rather than the organizational goal, which is not good for the organization. Now we can see the difference between formal organization and informal organization. First is under the formal organization, it is an organization in which jobs of each member is clearly defined, whose authority, responsibility and accountability is fixed. Means they are already been told to whom they are accountable or to whom they are responsible, to whom they have to report. Under the informal organization, there is nothing as such. There are just the interpersonal relationships, and they don't know to whom they have to report. They just interact with each other for the unnecessary things. Next point, formal organization originates from the set of organizational structure, and in informal organization, it originates from the formal organization. Means under the formal organization only, there is a parallel organization which is informal organization, which has been not set up by the organization. Formal organizations can work independently. They need no one with them. Informal organization depends totally upon the formal organization. Next point, the formal organization is goal oriented. They just focus only on their goals which they have to accomplish. And under informal organization, it develops automatically and spontaneously. Means it has been not originated by someone, it is a natural occurrence. The behavior of the members of the formal group is according to the rules and regulations set up by the organization. Means they will behave very formally, which is being laid down by the organization. They will be performing their job roles, and under the informal organization, they would be talking unnecessary things. There would be rumors, or the members of the informal group is according to the individual and group interest out of their friendships. The last point is it focuses only on the work performance. Under the formal organization, the only emphasizes only on the work, which means the attainment of the organizational goal. And under the informal organization, the more emphasizes on the interpersonal relationships, or we can say the friendships that they have formed. Now, the next topic is line organizational structure. Line means a vertical line which every employee would be following. It simply means the skeleton. Means top level managers, and then the middle level managers, and then the lower level managers. And they will be following this hierarchy to top. Line organization is the simplest and the oldest form of organization, and generally it is followed when the size of the organization is small, when there are less members in the organization. A line organization has only direct and vertical relationships between different levels in the organization. There would be vertical relationships. In this type of organization structure, only one type of authority exists, that is line authority. Only a single authority would be there, that is line authority. Means the subordinates of the lower level managers will first communicate to middle level managers, and then the middle level managers will put the problems of the lower level managers to the top level managers. The one sitting at the lower level cannot communicate directly to the top level managers. Here authority flows vertically from top to bottom. Whatever the actions are needed to be taken would be first communicated by the top level managers to the middle level managers, and then middle level managers will communicate it to the lower level managers or to the subordinates of the middle level managers. It is also known as military organization. Now, the advantages of line organization. The first Advantages: a line structure tends to simplify and clarify responsibility, authority, and accountability relationships. Means there's clarity about who is responsible about what or who is accountable to whom. The level of responsibility and authority are likely to be precise and understandable. Now, the next point is it promotes fast decision making. See, line organization is followed when the size of the organization is small. Means and the size, when the size is small, the quick actions can be taken or quick decision making can be easily done. Next point is it is simple to understand. When the number of employees is very less, then obviously the things would be very easy or they would be very simple to understand. Last point is because line organizations are usually small, management and employees have greater closeness. As I told, when the number of employees is very less, then obviously they would be very close to each other, and they could implement the immediate actions or easily they can interact with each other.